San Francisco is one of those places that you can go to basically anytime and it's going to be good, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can go to different neighborhoods. So you can be very tourist and stay in the pier, or you can go to Mission, or you go to North Beach, or you go to Chinatown.
Forget about me, never mind me, please. It's all said and done, it's over.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Street Badass 10. This is where we invite a photographer on, and the photographer will then talk about their 10 favorite photos. So I'd like to welcome Juan Sostre. Hi, Juan. How you doing, man?
Good at you. Thanks for having me.
Can't complain. It's good to have you here. I'm a fan of your work, so it'll be a pleasure to go through your 10. And whereabouts are you located?
I'm in the Bay Area in California, in San Jose.
In
So
San
it's the
Jose.
south of the Bay Area.
And then is that where you do
People,
most of your shooting?
not really. I go to San Francisco, so I go north. Like today, I take the bar to go over there because there's not a lot of things going on here in San Jose. It has to have an event, but it's not so active like San Francisco.
San Francisco is one of those places that you can go to basically anytime and it's going to be good, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can go to different neighborhoods. So you can be very tourist and stay in the pier, or you can go to Mission, or you go to North Beach, or you go to Chinatown, Union Square. Depends how you're feeling and what you want to shoot. You can move around.
Well, great. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these pictures, Juan. So here we go.
Cool.
So there's number one. So tell us a little bit about this shot.
So the Playboy. This was in Mission, and that day I remember I went alone to Mission, so I was like, not afraid, but a little bit like, oof. I always come here like and shoot with other fellow photographers, but that day I had a lot of fun, and I saw this guy, and in the front he has I think it was the Nicaragua flag and the Puerto Rican flag, so I got excited like, hey, Boricua, and I talked to him, and but then I saw how he was. It was a music, and I know how he was flirting with the ladies around him, giving hugs and having fun. So I stayed there for a while to see what happened, and then when I saw his bag, I saw that it says Playboy. I said, "Oh, this is the perfect picture because he's flirting with." It's actually three girls. There's one in the middle that he's currying, and they were this girl were having fun with this guy, and he was a character. So I said I had to take this shot here.
I like how the ladies are reacting to him. And one detail here that's really quite funny is he's got all these bells. So was he ringing, making bell noises?
Oh, yeah, that like I said, he was a character. It's so funny and happy, and But first, I want to take a shot because he has those two flags and he has the a Puerto Rican flag. But then I said, I gotta wait here. I know I can get something better than just only the flag. And the girl were having fun. He was having fun. I said, this is the perfect moment, and the light was perfect. Even I used the flashing, but I think it was for me. It was like this is the shot.
I love the expression on that lady's face right there. That's great.
Yeah, and
Well
it's
done,
an
Juan.
ad for Coca Cola too. She's
For Coca Cola and for Playboy,
yeah,
man.
yeah, and the Playboy. Yeah,
All right, let's take a look at the next one. Great shot, Juan.
thanks.
Adulting.
This was I think it was last month. I travel for work every month to San Diego, and sometimes I shoot in the afternoon when I arrive, and then the next day I always wake up early and go. I almost all the time stayed in Gaslamp in San Diego, so I wake up early around 7 and walk around. And this time I was walking, and this guy was in doing his laundry, and he was walking in front of his the laundry, and I stayed there, and I just start taking picture of him. When I took the few picture, he say something funny, and I start talking to him. I forgot his name, but then I just noticed the cab, right? But then when I saw the T-shirt, I said, "Oh man, I love that T-shirt." Like this is. so cool. Would not recommend. Adulting would not recommend. So with his look and everything, and at the same time, he has the kind of look, but very old Hulk Hogan style. And for those who doesn't know who is Hulk Hogan, an old wrestler, and I was like, oh, I have to get this shot, and I'm hoping to see him again because I travel every month because I would love to print the image and give it to him.
Yeah, I bet he'd love
And
it.
he was, yeah, and I think I really love this shot.
What I like about it is it kind of looks like if you look at the shot, I'd imagine he probably looks a lot like he looked when he was back in high school.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? He's
and
like one of those
actually,
guys that doesn't matter how many years he's been out of high school, he's going to look the same.
and more because he's holding the book, and he was telling me that he loves to read. So he was reading a book. I passed like 10 minutes after again in front of the laundry, and he was sitting there just reading, and it was hilarious. A nice guy, and I know I'm gonna see him again because I go a lot there in San Diego, and I hope that he can give me any address or something that I can send him the picture and print it for him.
Great shot, Juan. Let's go to number three
Thanks.
here. So as a Dutchman, I like this one because I can see the tulips.
Yeah. This was in Seattle. I think it was around April. I went for a vacation with my son, and I think this was like the last day that I was in Seattle, and this guy was wrapping up. It was there in the pig market, and he was taking out all his flowers, tulips, back to the van. And I took a few pictures. I have another one that I really like a lot, but I think when I saw this picture after, I said, "No, this is the picture." And I just get very close to him, and I love how it turned around this picture. But I want to do like post the series that I have of him bringing all the flowers to his van. But I think this is the main one.
I like the red. The red really
Yeah,
pops. Great shot, Juan.
thank you.
Hey, so our next one here was a winner in the recent Street Badass Eyes Closed theme on the Street Badass Facebook page. Could you tell us a little bit about this one? I'm guessing this was Chinatown.
Yeah, that was in Chinatown, and that day I was not with my friend Patrick Steven, always chasing daylight. But as soon I saw this shot on my camera after, I sent it to him. I said, "Dude, this is like reminds me so much of your style," and also because he shots a lot Asian people. He goes a lot to Chinatown, and that day I was with my son. And the previous week, the week before, I was with Patrick. So for me, it
Hmm.
was like more like honoring him. And I always say, I want to take shots that honoring like kind of the style of my friends. Like I have one of for you, Todd, that I think I show it to you in the scooter. So I'm like, I want to do like a series about not copying my friends, but like honoring like, oh, this shot reminds me so much this friend. And for me, this shot it reminds me a lot of Patrick. And this was a very close shot, and I just snap it and keep walking very fast. I was with my son, and my son was like, "What you did?" And I think turns out very great. I love the texture. I love his reaction. It's like he's just living that moment, with his cigarette.
That's right. It's him and his cigarette, and everything else falls away. Great shot, man.
Thank you.
The hand.
This was in the Pier 39, and actually, this day that was the week before that I was shooting with Patrick. That day, I think we got a lot of good shots. That was like I feel like I was a kid in Disneyland, and every time that I go with Patrick to shoot, we always came back and we great shot, and then we like see each other's work and come in and give feedback. And this one, it was like I just saw the hand of this lady on her shoulder, and well, all those stripe of the shadow. And I was like some shades. I don't know what was in the bag, but I was like, oh, this looks great. But more about the texture of her hands. And I just got close, snapped the shot, and keep walking. But then when I saw it, I was like, oh, it turns around. Very nice. I love her hands, and
The
also
hand is the
the
best,
color,
man. Yeah.
the color in her nails, like they're not perfect, and I love that detail.
It's just so weird those stripes on the shirt too.
Yeah, I don't know from where those were coming, but I know it was behind us, and it was reflecting on her shirt.
Great shot, man.
Thanks. New York. Um, nah, I think it was in front of the Nintendo store. I was taking a break about walking a lot with my son, and I was there, and these two ladies came, and they were going to grab. I don't know. I think this was in the afternoon. It was around 4, and they started eating her Chick Chack burgers, and I just snap it, and just to let you know, this is the cover of the book that I put out last year for around this time. It was my first book. Just posted 79 printed 79 photos of my first year with the Fuji X100V, and I just did it for fun, but then I used this image as a cover because then I have the lady from the right in the cover, and then the one from the left is the back cover. So you open the book, and then you see the spread and see the whole picture.
Hey,
And I think it was like,
speaking of
uh,
books, sorry to interrupt there, Juan. Speaking of books and magazines and stuff, I know that you do the Avenue magazine. If anybody wanted to get your book, or if they wanted to get the Avenue, where would you direct them?
so for both, you can go to sostreshot.com, or you can go straight forward to the Avenue magazine.com for the magazine. The book, you can go and click the link in my webpage, sostreshot.com.
Very cool shot.
Thanks.
One of my favorites here.
Rico. That was the same day that I shoot the Playboy guy. And I think talking to this guy, which his name is Rico, is the one that make me feel comfortable in mission, because I saw this guy, he's in a wheelchair, and I saw his tattoo, like it's a very Puerto Rican tattoo. And then he
Hmm.
says Rico, and I look at him, and I think he heard me talking or say something, or I mentioned Rico, but I said Rico very, very Puerto Rican, Rico. And he said, "Hey, Boricua." I said, "Yeah." "Oh, Boricua." So he's Puerto Rican too. Even we have the Mexican flag because it's mission, and it was the Cesar Chavez event. So we start talking, and then he showed me all his friends over there that are from Puerto Rico, and I was like, oh, feeling comfortable, oh, at least now every time that I come here, if I see them around, I know they're from here, from this neighborhood, and I'm gonna feel comfortable. And actually, yes, because I went a week after with Patrick, and I saw one of his friend, and his friend saw me and say, "Hey, Boricua." So I'm like, "Oh, now I feel more comfortable, walking around. I know a few people." But I would say after this shot is with, talking to this guy with Rico, it was like, oh, I feel more relaxed coming here and shooting, and he was great. And actually, I took another shot of his bag that I will post soon, and that I love it. Yeah, but I think this shot means a lot for me. Even it looks very simple, because opened the door for me to feel comfortable in that neighborhood.
That's awesome. I like the backstory on that shot. I also like the fact that if he's in a wheelchair and you chose not to show that.
Yeah, I just have his body, but I want to get the what he's smoking there.
Yeah, that we wanted to get what he was smoking and the essence of him. Great job, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
Another great shot here with the pooch.
That was
Yeah.
yeah,
What
San
square is this in
Francisco.
San Francisco? Is that Union?
Yeah, that's Union Square. It was the Tuli festival, and I was with few friends, and also again, I think that was the day that I met in person finally Patrick when we started shooting. Also, he stayed around, but a few us went to the main stage. They invited us when they saw us with camera. So I went to the main stage and I saw this lady holding, carrying the dog, and I just came closer, snap her, and I love that she's holding the phone, the little detail of the sticker on her phone. She's with her thumb out, the dog is with the thumb out, and then you see in the background the other dog like
The
trying to
dog right
approach,
there. Yeah,
like and you also can see the tulips there. So it's like a lot of things going on. And I love the colors. I love the reaction of her with her mouth and the dog.
she might be taking a picture of you while you're taking a picture of
Yeah,
her.
and yeah, probably. But one other thing, I would never think that I would get this kind of shot in the main stage because they were setting up everything to show, the event. And I would think I would can get this shot out of the stage, but I got it on the stage. And for me, it was like, oh, this is great.
That's awesome. Well done. Great shot, Juan.
Thanks. Another dude that I would love to know his name. I took a few pictures of him and we were chatting. He was drinking, he was having fun. So I know in my feed I have another picture that he's standing in the corner with his friend, and another one because he started, you know, posing for me like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And so I have fun, but I think this was the main shot because I got very close. I took this one with the Rico GR3, and when I showed him, that's when he was like, "Okay, let's model." Like, and he started like, I said, "Okay, let's have fun," because sometimes you got that shot and they start, oh, you take another one. But this guy, his look, he has style, and actually, I would love to see him. And again, this is another person that I would love to print the image and give it to him because for me, it's like those days are like key for me. It's like, oh man, this shot is like so cool. He's with the headphones, and I printed this. I have it here, and I'm looking forward to put it here in my house because for me, I love this kind of shot.
It's a great shot. Now, let me ask you, was this like one of the first shots you got of him, or was it this like,
Yeah. So I shot first. He was talking with his friend, and if you give me a second, can then
yeah, go for it, man.
I'm I just want to show you the first
Nice.
printed here. I have it here. This is the test, but I'm looking
That's a
forward
great
to put it
size
in a
too for
frame.
printing. What is that? Is that
Yeah,
like 12 by 16 or something, or is that
13 by 19.
13 by 19? Okay.
Yeah, so I do that test to see how it looks, and I think it looks amazing. So I just want to get a good frame, probably white frame, and put it here because I love it. I love this shot. I will. I wish I can do more often. This you're very close, and I know I will. But I love this one. So yes, so I took a few of them in the corner, and then I approach and I let. Can I take you a picture? He has a bottle in his hand, and so he said yes. But then after I show him this one, he started like, okay, you can take more. I said, okay, let's have fun. And this
Awesome.
was in Market Street in San Francisco. Uh, I think I will be honest. I never thought that this one was going to turn around the way that has been. This
All that yellow,
with
man. It's great.
yeah, and this one started. My series out of sight, out of mind. This was the main shot when I started cropping half of the faces, and I had to mention again. Few minutes before I met Patrick, let's start walking, let's start shooting, and this was one of my first shot that I did, and I just took it. I didn't not even take a look in the screen or nothing. I just saw that shot after when I would say 2 days or 3 days because I never check my photos the same day that I shoot. And the way that that I crop it, I start like working on that city out of sight out of mind. And actually, Todd, you were one of the guys that pushed me to start working that series and made me to like send it to Lens Culture, and
Yeah, you did
I
real
got to
well
the
on that, didn't you?
finalist. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
nice.
I appreciate to you and Shelby to tell me that day, hey, you should continue doing that. And even I closed the series with 9, I still getting kind of the same shot and cropping the same, but I will keep those 9 like the series, and the other ones like series 2, series 3, because I keep doing it. I love what I'm doing with that. I think it's a little bit different. Probably I went recently to San Diego and I went to one of the museum in Balboa Park, and I saw a photographer has some shots cropping the same. I was like, I know it's not new, right? But I would love to keep doing it, because I think somebody sent me a message. Oh, I saw this shot and I know it was you.